But the ladies, and I use that term loosely, they decided to discuss President Trump's announcement of his position with regards to abortion, which, if you missed it, was he announced earlier in the week it's a pragmatic political position, but it is not a moral one.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, but it's probably the smart play because you don't want that to be the subject of this next election. You want Joe Biden to be the subject of the next election. Unfortunately, speaking the moral policy, the moral position is one that Democrats will then, they will run on and make that the focus of the upcoming election. That we rascally Republicans want to take away women's rights and all of this stuff. When what we want is everybody focusing on what an absolute fool and a failure Joe Biden is. So
that's going to be a lot easier to do if Trump would just keep his mouth shut on this from now on. Because, today he showed himself to be just dang schizophrenic. Because in that announcement a couple days ago, he was talking about how it's all about states' rights and states get to decide this. And then today, the day that we're recording this, he was coming out and basically lambasting the Arizona Supreme Court for upholding Arizona's law from 150 years ago plus
96 or something,
that prohibited abortion, and basically saying that it's about states' rights and we need to change this law. It's a state law, so from here on out, if somebody asks you, just say, you can refer to my previous statement and just shut the hell up about it, because what you're doing right now is really pissing a lot of your pro-life base off.
Yeah. And it's, let's face it, anybody who thinks, I don't understand people who think or ever thought that Trump was a conservative at heart. He certainly is not. He's not even a political person. He is he's an entertainer. He's pragmatic to a fault. And he's not somebody who's going to carry water for the conservative movement. He and I think Shapiro's been talking about how Trump is actually the moderate in this coming election, which is weird.
Right. Yeah, so, it's and this is, I think, the thing that always bothered me about Trump is that he will only take the morally correct position if it is in some way politically advantageous to him, as opposed to doing the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep. It's all a political calculation.
Right.
And the sooner that conservative and Republican voters recognize that and accept it instead of trying to proclaim him as the next coming, I think that would be better for all of us if we went into the election with clear eyes instead of trying to suggest that somehow he is called by God to come and solve the moral problems in this country.
Yeah.